A few years ago, I was 6 figures in debt. I had to fire 3 people for my team. I had 2 other employees who I needed to support with no idea where the next client was coming from. I remember having to switch gears and going on sales call after sales call for hours a day, every single day, trying to land the next client so I could get out of the hole that I dug myself into. If you've clicked on this video, maybe you feel like you're failing, that nothing is going quite how you wanted it to, or you want to prepare yourself for when it goes wrong. Let's talk about how to cope with failure in business and how to get back up. Back then, it was really easy to look at the situation I was in and think, I am failing. I have failed. Now I understand that it was actually one of the most pivotal moments and the best thing that happened in my business. When things go wrong, the first thing to know is, number one, realize that you're not actually failing. Everything that we see as a failure is an opportunity to pivot and keep going. If you look up the definition of fail, it is to be unsuccessful in achieving one's goal, or you neglect to do something. So remember, you only truly fail if you completely decide to stop. People have to fail on their way to success. It's almost a prerequisite. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. And the thing with having a business is that your vision remains the same, but your goals can also shift and change depending on what you need to do at the time. So if your goal was to make $1 million by the end of the year, but you had to make some hard decisions like I did, you can shift that goal to simply be make 1 sale by the end of the week. And then you keep going, you keep pushing and moving forward until you can build that momentum again. Well, let's say you have the team and you have the resources, but by mid-year, you're nowhere close to hitting that number. Well, then you have the rest of the year to figure out how you can make that $1 million. What type of high-ticket services can you offer? How can you get more leads? The best way to cope with failure is to keep going. Number 2, step away when things are going wrong and if it feels like the walls are closing in on you. It could be one big catastrophic situation or just a trickle of little issues that eventually breaks the dam. Either way, when it rains, it pours. And when it does, our emotions can really cloud our judgment and our decisions. And when you start to feel that pressure, walk away, breathe, go for a walk, take a day, spend time with your family, and come back with a calm mind. Some of the things that I've done, like I listen to podcasts, I watch videos, I read books that talk about maybe the subject, which you might actually be doing right now, watching this. It helps you get back into the right frame of mind to make good decisions moving forward. Number 3, don't get attached to failure. Our business is our baby. And when we feel like we're failing, we turn to blaming ourselves and thinking we are the failures. Like we have our self-worth so wrapped up in it. This goes back to our school days when we'd see that big red F on a test and maybe we'd start to tell ourselves that we're not smart, we're not cut out for this, and give up. Attaching ourselves to failure makes handling it a lot more challenging because, again, you're more likely to make emotional decisions. And then it becomes a fear. And when failure becomes a fear, we start making decisions based out of fear, whether it's to play it safe or you become so paralyzed by it that you refuse to act at all. I know it's challenging, but it's important to disassociate failure from yourself as a person. It's not your identity. Number 4, write down what's going right. When it goes wrong in your business, it's easy to lose sight of what's actually going right. But no matter how things are going wrong, there are always areas we are doing well in. It could be having a team that supports you, your loyal and happy clients, the impact you're making with your audience. Make a conscious effort to sit and write down what's going right in your business and highlight the strengths and focus on building it back up. I'll say that the day that I had to fire 3 people on my team at once, the thing that I was so grateful for that went right is when I went onto my daily huddle with my 2 employees I had left, they were excited to dig through the trenches with me, and they're still with me to this day. So I will always be so grateful for that. And number 5, support yourself with a strong support system. Last, but certainly not least, this is the time to set the boundaries and really avoid the naysayers. You right now are in a vulnerable position and outside influence can really take a toll. So surround yourself with a strong support system, including other entrepreneurs who have pushed past resistance and worked through failure. Only listen to advice from people who have been through it and who are building the type of business you want, and ignore the rest. Everyone deals with some sort of failure in their life. We don't always get what we want, and guess what? We shouldn't. In school, we're taught not to fail. But as entrepreneurs, failure can be the greatest teacher. Everyone who has ever accomplished anything impactful has experienced failure. So that means you're on the right track. Subscribe. That's it. That's the video.